All right, we don't have enough time. We don't have enough time for the full intro. Listen, I thought we had one more in us. I thought insert the Vince Carter. I got one more in me meme. Thought we had one more. But I'm going to be honest. I thought we were setting up for some Giannis stuff. I had a Giannis thumbnail ready to go. I thought with that Chicago move that we saw with Minnesota and with, who else am I forgetting? Mike Conley and Jaden Ivey, right? I thought we were, and I was waiting. Because that's what I thought was happening. And instead, old Vucci Mane is on his way here to the Boston Celtics, according to Shams here, for Anthony Simons. I'll listen, I'm a little bit surprised. I think that I was starting to buy in to all of the talk here around Boston and what they've been seeing from Anthony Simons, and they've really enjoyed the way that he's like grown a little bit on the defensive end, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because financially speaking, it made a little bit more sense here for Simons to get moved by Boston. And not only do they take care of the financials that they were worried about, it also plugs a gap. Vooch being Vooch has all the flaws in the world, right? Offensively, a lot of fun. Defensively, leaves a lot to be desired. But what this does do is you now turn Luka Garza into Nikola Vucevic, and no matter which way you cut that, that is an upgrade. Honestly, if the Celtics were to play this the right way, I think Vuce should be coming off the bench. He won't. I'm sure he'll start. But I think what this does here for Boston is it just eliminates what the stuff they were doing here. You know, it eliminates the Luka Garza, or not even that it eliminates Luka Garza. It eliminates the relying on Luka Garza. Luka having to play like 18 to 22 minutes, which you can get away with on a random Tuesday night during the regular season. But when that comes to a 7-game series, you can't get away with that. It eliminates the Amari Williams, that they've like their second-round pick, who's been getting a little bit of juice here, a little bit of run. They don't have to worry about that anymore. Now they have Vooch, and they can run their two big guys, in Vooch and Keita. And Vooch's ability to stretch a little bit can also get out there and play alongside. I don't think they'll do that much, but they could get away with it. The Bulls now get Anthony Simons. Oh, also, one more thing to tune that up to. Listen, they made Anthony Simons kind of hold on to the defense, played a little bit of defense. Can Joe Mazzulla, this is the test of all tests, all right? This is the test of all tests, Joey Maz. Can you make Nikola Vucevic play defense? Because if you can, Coach of the Year. Coach of the Year, if he can do it. So the Celtics now, I'm assuming, are going to run out. Again, does Keita start? I don't know. I don't know who starts between Keita or Vooch. They can deal Tillman and Boucher to get under the cap. I think, yeah, they still can. They can still make that move. Obviously, Sam Hauser's still on the table. I don't think they do that, though. So let's just say one of Vooch or Keita starts alongside Hauser, Tatum, Derek White, and Peyton Pritchard, right? And then the other one coming off the bench. It takes Daniel Gafford off the table, that's for sure. On the Chicago side of stuff, right? Chicago gets Anthony Simons, which is an expiring contract. That's kind of fun. And listen, Chicago normally doesn't do this, and I would like to just credit Chicago. Sure. Are they 3 years too late in this move? Yeah, absolutely. But they finally started selling some pieces. He's gone. Kevin Huerter's also gone too. And so let's just quickly look at the other trade that just went down as well. And that is down here. Okay, so the Bulls got Jaden Ivey and Mike Conley. So now they have guards, Jaden Ivey, Mike Conley, Josh Giddey, Kobe White, and Ayo, along with Trey Jones. The Pistons got Kevin Huerter, Dario Saric, and the Wolves' first-round pick. So, for Chicago, listen, I mean, I guess the news here is hey, man, you finally shut it down. We don't have to worry about you. We don't have to worry about you trying to be the 10 seed, as Magikarp put in the chat. The door is now wide open. The Charlotte Hornets, you might be able to have the opportunity to play postseason basketball, right? If we go look at our if we go look at the tanking stuff that's going on here over on the NBA standings, Mike saying word is Kobe White could have been in the deal for Minnesota, but they preferred the space. Yeah, I mean, listen, part of the benefit of being live right now, I think there's a real chance here in the next few minutes that we see Giannis as a Timberwolf. I think that almost feels imminent in the way Minnesota is moving right now. But anyways, back to the standings. Let's blow this up a little bit. So Chicago here sitting in the 9 seed, right? They have a half-game lead over the Atlanta Hawks. As I mentioned, they are just a game and a half ahead of the Charlotte Hornets. It feels like the Hornets and Atlanta will both catch Chicago, and Chicago will find themselves slipping out. Yeah, Ja to Minnesota is also something that's getting floated around. Utah has 13 first picks. Has 13 first-round picks so far now? They have 13? I thought, you mean Memphis or Utah? Anyways, I think this is a good... can Wolves survive with Giannis as the point guard? Well, no. I don't think Giannis will be the point guard. I think Anthony Edwards or Dante DiVincenzo will be the point guard. And listen, if we want to speculate on Giannis going to Minnesota, we can do that right now. For the point guard position, I don't know... right now, it is a problem, Minnesota's point guard issue, and Mike Conley being shipped out, and now maybe that means more Bones Highland or another move is made. One thing, I'm not going to worry about the point guard issue if Giannis is added. You know what I'm saying? I'm less concerned if you're adding the third best player in the world to the team. You figure it out. I think Ant running offense or Dante running offense or even the few minutes that Bones does it, it's all gravy at that point. Maybe they even get a buyout candidate too. It's all gravy if you're adding Giannis to that, assuming, Jaden McDaniels is probably in that deal along with Julius Randle and Dillingham or something like that. I don't know. If that happens, I'm not as worried about it. But back to Simons and Vooch. I'm a little bit bummed, honestly, because I was enjoying the Simons experience, but and the talk around Boston kind of made me believe what they were selling anyways, and that Boston wasn't gonna make any moves, that they were gonna be kind of quiet heading towards the deadline, and apparently, Vooch is a Band-Aid. It's not like the center of the future. I don't think they can ride this out this season, see how it goes. It gives them a center for the postseason, gives them a little bit more offensive threat. And I mean, we've seen Boston play the 5-out style as a ball before too. Vooch can also do a little PNR. I think the question mark isn't going to be offensively, because having guys like when Vooch is your number 1 or number 2, that is dog shit. That's not what you want, right? But if now all of a sudden we're asking Vooch, can you pick and pop a little bit? Can you be a poor man, but a healthy man's Kristaps Porzingis on the offensive end? I think you take that. And knowing that he doesn't have to play 35 minutes a game, that's not what they're going to be asking him to do. Neemias Queta still, I mean, he's been one of the bright spots here for Boston. I think this is a really, really good get. And I'm bummed to see Simons leave, because I've enjoyed his game. I've enjoyed watching him. He's been a nice little fire plug for Boston off the bench. But a rich man's Garza for damn sure. But I wonder too if Boston was like, listen, we have Pritchard, we have White, we know Jason Tatum's coming back, which is a little bit more offense that they can add coming off the bench, whether that is Tatum coming off the bench or it's moving somebody like Pritchard to the bench, right? They have that option for them. And now I think they want to give Hugo Gonzalez more minutes. I know that's not the same position, but with Tatum coming back, which Tatum is coming back. I know Chris Haynes was rock hard about that report the other day. I think Tatum is coming back. I think this to me is a signal, because you're giving up that offense. So listen, we know Cleveland's on the precipice of acquiring James Harden. Detroit's the clear favorite, in my opinion. I know Vegas shifted towards Cleveland. I get it. I don't think Boston is out there trying to win chips this season. I think they'll try and they'll compete, but this is a fun move that helps them both financially and competitively speaking. So, kudos to Boston. I think it's solid. Chicago, I mean, I don't know. What do we say about Chicago, man? What do we say about the Bulls at this point? Are we I guess this is a sign for the future. They have to be making some more moves here, right? I thought we got a new Shams tweet, but we didn't. They have to be making another move here soon, right? You got too many guards. You got too many guards here, right? So we went over that a little bit, like Kobe White. Yeah, the Celtics daily comment section is going to be pissed. This is a great comment. Let's see. Can we just look at something here? I know we're not doing underdog stuff. We're doing trades, but I want to go look at a couple of things here, just of guys that are available tonight. So Chicago moves off of Vooch. They also lose Herter today, right? And then the guys that they acquire, those fellas aren't going to be able to play basketball. So if we look at the Chicago Bulls, you've got Isaac. All right, Nikola Vucevic, he can't play. You got Kobe White, Matas Bucelis, Jalen Smith is questionable. Matas Bucelis playing the 5 tonight? Is that what's happening? If Jalen Smith's good to go, that's pretty fun. That's pretty fun. But oh my God, they are so thin. They are so thin tonight. You look at the Utah Jazz, that was another team right there without Niang, Clayton, Keontae, Kessler, Harkless. Kevin Love's most likely going to miss, Hendricks, Anderson. Now, Yusuf Nurkic, by the way, I don't know if you guys missed this. Yusuf Nurkic has been ruled in. I don't know if I trust that. Colin says Garza has been great this season, way better than expected. Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't want to, I'm not going to disagree with that. I think what I expected was Luka Garza to be very bad, and he's not been very bad. He's been fine. But as I pointed out in a couple of NBA bits, I think when you get into a postseason and you get into a 7-game series, I think it's very easy to pick apart those types of things. And if you're going to run Luka Garza out there for 16 to 22 minutes a game in the postseason in a 7-game series, I think he's going to get cooked. I don't think he can get away with it. And it becomes a problem. And I think this helps that quite a bit. Regulator said Ramona got regulated. I'm not regulated, aggregated. What was the aggregation? What did I miss there? I'll go to NBA Central. That's where I go for all of my news and notes. That's not true. I don't. But let's see the Dunk Central. Okay, the last thing I was seeing was about Draymond Green, so I don't have anything from Ramona. Oh, you're talking about the Giannis one? Oh, that the Charlotte Hornets could join the chase for Giannis? No, I don't think that's likely. But yeah, I don't know. That's pretty fun. That's pretty fun for Boston. I think if you're a Chicago fan, you're like, finally, man. Finally, we got rid of it, Finally. Just blow that shit up. I'm surprised they haven't moved Kobe White yet. That to me is the obvious move. I don't know if they are higher on him than the value that's being returned right now. I don't know. Maybe the what's it called? Not the Trey Jones injury slowed things down a little bit, but they have so many guards. And speaking of, I would like Mike Conley's there right now, right? I'm assuming he gets bought out. I'll be honest, too. I thought when I first saw that tweet notification, I thought Jaden Ivey was going to Minnesota. I was kind of excited. I was like, all right, yeah, sure. Why not? I was kind of excited. You needed a guard taking a shot on that, but I want to see that reroute to Chicago. I don't know. Giannis says, I'm sorry, dude. Pat Connaughton. I know he's from Massachusetts. Pat Connaughton is not going to be the reason anybody moves. Okay, we got Embiid ruled out. That's not the news that I was looking for, but that's also not surprising. Although the good news is it doesn't look like Maxey got ruled out, and I was terrified Maxey was going to get ruled out. I really was. Let me see if we got any more updates here. It looks like Embiid is out, Scoot's out, and Denny's out. There we go. We got an early Denny out. That's good news. Yeah, man, but it feels like Giannis and James Harden are the two big pieces to go. I haven't been seeing anything about Anthony Davis here in the last few days. I feel like we haven't gotten any AD updates. I know Cleveland is still flirting around with it, but I don't know. When you look at the Eastern Conference right now, how would you guys rank them in the standings? Like with Detroit relatively standing pat here and not really making a move outside of getting rid of Jaden Ivey, which honestly, shout out Monty Williams, by the way, for absolutely ruining Jaden Ivey's value, right? But if you look at the standings, like, is there anything from this that you? Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Is there anything here in the East like that you're? If you had to like pick your favorites here, I guess. I mean, I know a lot of this decides on Giannis's movement. But, like, this still feels so wide open, right? And even if the Cavs go get James Harden, does that make you feel any better or any worse than where they are right now? Like, isn't this kind of where you thought they were going to be? With Garland, I mean, not like with Garland or with Harden, you're not all of a sudden being like, holy shit, man, watch out with either one of those, right? It's the same. So So wow, so you're in on Boston. You think this Vooch moves the needle quite a bit for you? I think for me, Detroit, and like the Knicks, man, it's weird to just not believe in the Knicks and that all they've done is just, win games. Cole Anthony ruined Ivy's value when he broke his leg. Okay. Yeah, do you think there's any real smoke with the Draymond stuff? Like, I'm kind of surprised. This is out there because, again, I don't know. I think if you're going to break up that core I guess you already did it with Clay, but if you're going to break up that core with Steph and Draymond in a trade like that, right? You would think you're doing it to get a piece back that's going to help you win right now, right? And I guess outside of Giannis, what are you getting back that's helpful? Dre can just player option decline. Yeah, he can. Wait, hold on. Okay, so I know the Toronto Raptors stuff is picking up some steam. Toronto Raptors and Sabonis. Guys. Listen, I know Sabonis is better than Jakob Poeltl right now. Who, by the way, Jakob Poeltl could go to Memphis or Chicago. Hold on. I know we're talking about Domantas Sabonis. Can you guys point to me in a time where Domantas Sabonis was good in the postseason? He feels like a regular season innings eater, I feel like he's such a defensive liability. And maybe you could say, well, hey, you got Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes can help. I don't know. Just let Colin Murray Boyles cook, Let him cook. Are there 10 teams in the West that want to make the playoffs? Now, that is a great question, Common Man. Oh, who else do you have in the East? No, I don't trust New York, but to me, I think Detroit, New York, Cleveland, I think those three are going to end up being in a tier by themselves. And then, listen, I'll happily put the Celtics in that conversation. I kind of want to see Tatum move around before I do. I think right now, Boston, what they are doing is so impressive. I feel like it's a little smoke and mirror-ish. Not what JB's doing, but the fact that the team is winning games in the manner that they are. They seem to play up or down to their competition most nights, even though they're coming off a couple of impressive wins over Milwaukee and Sacramento. I think I'd prefer to see Tatum moving around, and then I would put them in that category. But to me, it's like Detroit, New York, and Cleveland. Then I would have Celtics, Raptors, Sixers. That's where I would land right now. That's where I would land. You think the Sixers are going to be elite to pick? Yeah, I like them. I heard something about Kobe White could end up in Houston. That would be pretty fun. All right, let's look at the 10 Western Conference teams that want to make the playoffs, and let's see if there are 10. OKC, sure. San Antonio, that's 2. Denver, 3. Houston, 4. Mini, 5. Lakers, 6. Phoenix, 7. Golden State, 8. The Clippers are okay. So there are 9. Memphis does not want to win. Dallas does not want to win. Utah does not want to win. I tell you what, you want to know who the 10th team that wants to make the playoffs are? The New Orleans Pelicans. Now, they won't make it. They won't. But they want to. Okay, Magic Harp said Embiid is going to be the best Eastern Conference player in the playoffs unless Giannis gets traded. Yeah, listen, if it was a one-game playoff, I'd be right there with you, Magic Harp. But we're asking Embiid to stay healthy for 7 games, 4 different times. That's a lot, man. That's a lot. We said it's good for Vooch. It's bad for Garza. Good for the Celtics. Bad for Garza. I don't think we'll see a ton of Luka Garza. I don't think so. Blazers will be okay losing their pick, so they'll go for the plan. Yeah, I think so too. And you thinking the Spurs are peaking too early? I go back and forth. I think San Antonio has been. You think about how many games they've won without being healthy. Wemby missed a considerable amount of time. You had Fox missing like the first month and a half of the season. Then you had Castle miss some time, and then Vassell missed some time. And I think San Antonio is going to be for real. Obviously we're a year or two too early with San Antonio, but I think they are legit contenders to at least get out of the first round. To me right now, I think Houston, if Houston doesn't address some of their needs here, I would have San Antonio, Denver, OKC, and Minnesota as my first 4 favorite. And that's also assuming, you think Minnesota's getting Ja or Giannis. I do think they're kind of getting Giannis. I think Minnesota is getting Giannis. If I had to bet money on it right now. But those would be my top 4, and then I think Houston's at 5. And I think a lot of people are asking about Ja Morant right now. And listen, I know it's really fun to talk about Ja Morant. I think I love watching Ja Morant. From a fantasy perspective, I love rostering Ja Morant. I think no matter what team Ja goes to, it means nothing. I don't think maybe it means more regular season wins. I don't think it changes anything in the postseason. I don't. I can't think of a spot where it makes. I mean, Miami, that'd be fun. Fun for Miami to get a point guard? Sure. Minnesota's desperate for a point guard? Sure. All that stuff. All that stuff is fine. But I don't think so. I'm good, man. I'm good. We're good. We're good. We're good in the West. We're good in the West. I just don't know. Like, does anybody become scary in the postseason because they added Ja, a guy who can't shoot the three? No, that's not happening. That was just James Harden saying he wanted to go to Minnesota. Harden's not going there. Kings just throwing out that they are still in the Ja sweepstakes is so Kings. Yeah. Hey, you know what? That would move the needle for me. That would get me to watch. I'd stay up late to watch two-man game of Russell Westbrook and Ja Morant. Put them together. Now that would be a crazy, chaotic backcourt where just like the 3-point shooting percentage is 14 combined, but they're just flying around. They're flying around. Yeah, I mean, and listen, I want Ja to go somewhere else. Like it's time to get him out of Minnesota. I mean, Memphis. Global Hustler said Minnesota addressed a real postseason need with a point guard. Who did they get? Did they just get somebody? Who did they get? Did I miss a trade? Did Minnesota just get a point guard? Or are you saying they need to address one? I mean, they addressed it. Hold on, Stan. I know you swallowed like a bottle of Blue Chew before this to just get rock hard for your Miami talk. You are like the package you're putting together is just as bad. You're not going to have any good picks to offer because your team is going to be good. You add Giannis. They're not. No one's like, oh, Tyler Hero. Kel'el Ware, the Kel'el Ware who couldn't play more than like 5 minutes in the game against the Bulls. I'm telling you, nobody is jacked up right now for that Miami package either. And it's going to have way more to do with where Giannis wants to go versus what the return is going to be. Now, they're not going to just go get fleeced for nothing. But if you're saying you could give me Dillingham, some future pick, Jaden McDaniels and Julius Randle, and then move those pieces and get more assets, yeah, sure. I don't know. And Giannis wants to play in Minnesota? I feel like it's closer to Minnesota than it is Miami. It is Miami. The Timberwolves had the option to get Kobe White in the Jaden Ivey trade, but declined. Yeah, they're definitely close. And then Anthony Simons. Okay, DJP listing the guards. Anthony, this is Chicago. Simons, Giddey, Trey Jones, Jaden Ivey, Kobe White, Io, and Mike Conley. Go get some more, man. Boston can now sign wave players if they need to. There we go. Love to see that. Oh yeah, I do think Minnesota should go get another guard. I just think if Ja's your only option, sure. I just think that's bringing a different energy into the locker room that already has a lot of energy. You know, you're a championship aspirational team. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking the Ja stuff, and he goes to he's got a fresh start and he's got a new lease on life and is just like looking to compete. Sure. Let's see what else we got. Well, yeah, Montes Bags resuming. When is the trade deadline? It's Thursday. So we still have a couple days. Left. He'd have picks an all rookie. What do you mean all Yeah, when I think of all rookies, I think of Kasper Jakahonis. Is that who we're talking about? Oh, Nikola Jovic, baby. Is that what we're talking about with Miami? Come on, bro. Presti, why not go get Kobe or Io? Shock everyone. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they need any more guards. I think the 3-point shooting seems to have woken up the other night, right? All of a sudden, Case and Wallace turned into Larry Bird. That's pretty fun. Jokic at home? What do you mean Jokic at home? What does that mean, Jokic at home? He's at home? Io to the Rockets would be cool. Yeah. Houston, I mean, Chicago should be moving off a guard. That's for damn sure. They should be moving off. Oh, Jovic is Jokic at home. I got you. Yeah, Chicago's going to move some of these guards, and Houston should be hunting. Houston does need a guard, man. Like even Reed Shepherd is fun. That's not enough. That's not enough. Fred VanVleet, you can't rely on him coming back and being healthy. And like the Amin Thompson stuff is fun, but you need an adult in the last 4 minutes. You need 10 years ago Mike Conley in the last 10 minutes. Don't forget that Miami would probably have to trade Terry Rozier to Milwaukee. Yeah, dude, alleged. No, Boston base. I think you're losing that Chicago one. Yeah, dude. Stan, listen, man. I know Stan. Sure, bro. You're right, Stan. I'm wrong. That package of Casper, Yokohone, Jaime, Hawkins. Listen, man. I love Khalil Ware more than most. I don't think anybody's like, finally, dude. That feels like a fair package. Jaime Hawkins, elite fantasy basketball player. He made the all-rookie team stand and then didn't play his entire second year. And not due to injury, right? I don't know, Stanley. Maybe Conley to the Rockets. No, I said 10 years ago Conley. I don't think Conley to the Rockets right now does shit, man. Mike is washed. Well, Mike should be playing in my league. He should be playing in my league. I keep waiting for the Harden stuff. I thought we were going to get a Harden move here in the next few minutes. Vooch, I thought I was like, you know what? We're going to go live. Oh, wait, hold on. I got some tweet notifications. What do we got? We got a new No, this Boston Celtic. Oh my God. They shared some AI here. Let's share this is the Shams tweet I saw. He does have Desperate Housewives value. That is true. Good point there. Oh, Dustin. Hey, Dustin, dude, are you kidding me? Nikola Vucevic, bro? We got a shorter white guy in Boston? Come on down. Play that five. We can roll out old Luka Gaza and then young Luka Gaza, okay? Both dudes, both white, both big. Throw them out there. Shoot the three ball, okay? Who needs fucking defense when you got the offense of Nikola Vucevic, Vucci Main, and Luka Gaza? Peyton Pritchard? Dude, I love it, though. You gave up Anthony Simons. You saved money and you got a center, baby. You love it. Yeah, I'm excited, man. Tatum back confirmed. Yeah, sure. Tatum's back. Let's break news. Talk to my boy JT today, Justin Timberlake. And he said Vucci Main is back. Oh, we got a new member, Omer Eats, dude. Back from the dead. Omer Eats, let's go. Yeah, Brad strikes again. Listen, I am going to miss Anthony Simons because it's just fun going, Anthony Simons, every time he comes off the bench. He was awesome in that Milwaukee game when he came out and just chucked, right? Just was great. He was great. Turned the game around after the Celtics offense was a mess. I do think it does leave, like, the Celtics bench scoring is a little weird. If Vooch is coming off the bench, I like it a little bit more. Because, man, can you imagine, right? So JB and Derek White, like the second unit of just being like Vooch, Pritchard, and then just some wings running around. I think that's a lot. That's a lot of fun. And then, yeah, going crazy here. And Utah's great, though. The Utah stuff's fun. I'm all in on the Utah stuff. Wait, also, Dustin's back. We got to do this.
Headed to the octagon for some UFC. Me and the homeboy D-U-S-T. 3G's cash and a card on me. We about to blow it up for the 2-1-3.
Man, what a throwback. DJP was asking, do I think Vooch starts? Man, I think he does, but I want him to come off the bench. I'm hopeful he comes off the bench. I'm hopeful he does. I think that's more fun if he comes off the bench. I think it's better for the team. They need some offense off the bench, losing Simons. I think Vooch makes more sense than Keita. Because then otherwise, your second unit's like what? Keita, one of the guards hanging back. Baylor Shireman. Ugo. I don't know. Dave Dustin, you got a new boss today. Huh? New CEO boss? You want to come on? We could do a JV version of the puck. I could be Mike Bellany. I was gonna do a Mike Bellany impression, but I don't think I can do it. Anyways, what else do we got? I'll hang around. I'm hoping we get This is our third show of the day, plus the Celtics Daily Show. We're down bad. We're down bad this morning. Let's see. What else? What else do we have? Oh, man. Let's see. Oh, hold on. What else do we have? Wait for some news. Let's draft. No, we'll lose everybody if we do a dog bowl, I think. Yeah, the town. We got to do the town. Give me a Lakers trade spec. Dude, your Lakers are dead with trades right now. My favorite thing about the Lakers trade deadline stuff is they're like, yeah, we've been throwing some Gabe Vincent and Dalton Connect out on the line. Haven't gotten many bites so far. It's like, yeah. No kidding, man. I mean, what was the footage going around of like LeBron outwardly like pissed off at Gabe Vincent, Dalton Connect demanding a trade, which I think I compared to Michael Scott in The Office when he declared, "I declare bankruptcy." That's what that felt like. We got Luka for AD, Max Christie, and change from our coach. Cushion anything is possible. That is true, man. That is true. I do think though you're in a good spot for next year. I think the move is to just stay dry. Stay dry for this season, right? And just see whatever happens in the postseason, cool. Whatever happens in the postseason, cool. And then in the offseason, you start maneuvering. You get off the LeBron contract, you get off the Bronny, and then you go make a move. I think that's what the Lakers should be doing. Oh, we got G Dunn in the house. Let's go. Vooch is a Celtic. I know you love Vooch, and you love the Celtics. You love basketball. Guys, I'm also, I think I told Greg, but I didn't tell Dustin. I'm like basically a month from now, I'm going to be in Los Angeles. Yeah, we're going to be in Los Angeles. Who's trading? Nobody's trading for Allen. I do think we wait, did you really meet Nicole? Oh, yeah, in Disney. That's right. I'm surprised you didn't meet a Lopez twin. I'm surprised you didn't meet a Robin or a Brooke Lopez. So, all right, what are the other things that we're waiting on here? We're waiting on like Chicago's got too many guards, so they have to move off of somebody. Obviously, we're waiting on the Giannis stuff, the James Harden stuff. Shadab Khan, I don't know who does he follow? NBA draft coverage, formerly of The Athletic. Says I'm told the Rockets and Bulls are in the final stages of trade negotiations that would send Kobe White to Houston. I do think Kobe, no, not for All-Star Weekend. It's before that or after that. No All-Star Weekend. So rare shut down their U.S. team. So I no longer have connects. Yeah, there we go. JJL the Goats in here with Vucci. So I lost my train of thought. Oh, the Kobe White. I think Kobe White to Houston makes a ton of sense. They really need to go get a guard. Just, again, some sort of adult that can dribble the ball in the last 4 minutes. Because you really, with Amin Thompson, it's a lot of fun for the first 3.5 quarters. But you've seen it. You've seen it against teams that shouldn't be, like, even Indiana, Atlanta. We saw them blow games, 2 different games to Sacramento, I think, earlier this month or last month. They need a guard. They need just, like, some sort of stability from the offense. That's true, man. Mac McClung. No Mac knows the carrying. We're a package deal. Jalen Duren joined the slam dunk contest, though, huh? When's the last time we've had... Oh, I guess we had Jericho Sims, right? New York Knicks legend, Jericho Sims. Winners and losers so far. I mean, if Chicago doesn't... I would say Chicago... Well, first of all, Utah... I would say all winners. All winners but the Kings. The Kings getting DeAndre Hunter, just dumb as can be. I think that's as dumb as it gets. I think Chicago finally trading some of their guys, that's good. They should have done this 2 years ago, but they're finally starting to shut it down. Get in the lottery. Don't worry about finishing as the 9 or 10 seed. Go lose some games on purpose, all right? Trade some more pieces. Collect some more assets. Celtics are winners because they got under the first tax, right, or whatever they're close to under the cap, whatever the hell it is, the first apron. I don't know what it is, but they also get a big guy, so they no longer have to worry about Luka Garza, right? That's good. Who else, dude? Memphis and Utah. Memphis is basically saying, hey, we're going to be really bad, and if we're going to be this bad, Why do we pay Jaren Jackson Jr. $49 million a year? We shouldn't do that. So they stopped doing that. They get a bunch of picks, right? They have like 7 first-round picks in the next couple of years. They got 5 from Paolo. They got 4 from Desmond Bane left from the Magic. And then they've got 3 from Utah. Utah wins because now we know they've got 1 tanking season left. This is it. A couple more Utah fans, you finally can get back at Vernon Maxwell, which if you're unfamiliar with that beef, it's one of the funniest things. You get a couple more months of tanking. All of a sudden, Jaren Jackson Jr.'s got COVID. You got Keontae George has a toenail, right? Like all this stuff. You stop playing games. You get a top 8 pick. Now you come back. You have Ace Bailey. You got Keontae George. You got Jaren Jackson Jr., Walker Kessler Ranger if they decide to keep him in restricted free agency, and Laurie the Finn Markkanen. Plus whatever pick you got. That's a fun team. That's a play-in team. That's a competitive team. You won't have to tank, okay? That's fun. Winner. Is that all the trades? Who else? Are there? I don't think there's any losers. I don't think there's any losers yet. Detroit. Jaden Ivey's a winner. He gets a new start. The Dennis Jenkins passed him by. The Dennis Jenkins stuff. They had to sign the 2-way or convert the contract, whatever the official saying is. Jenkins needed to be a player. They weren't giving Ivey any run. Get out on Ivey. Chicago gets a young guy they can have some fun with. I like it. Minnesota, to be seen. They get off of Mike Conley. I think it was time. I know people are saying a Conley buyout is coming. Man. The Conley stuff is like, who cares, dude? The Conley stuff is washed. We are at the wash time of Mike Conley. Could Spicy P get traded? Big surprise? I don't think so. Why? They shouldn't do that at all because the Pacers now, the Pacers have done this beautifully, right? They're like, hey, Benedict Mathurin, you missed a ton of time. You're back. You can play a little bit. That's fun. Andrew Nembhard, what's up? We see what we have with Jarris Walker. We see what we have with all these young guys. Tyrese Halliburton's going to come back. Pacers might trade for a center right now. Like, that might be a sneaky thing that happens at the deadline where the Pacers go get a center. And then they're going to have like a top 5 pick. That's huge. I don't know where Nurkic is going. Not Little Kale says, I'm sure you talked at length, but just saw. I'm low on Vooch, but for 40 games of him, I could kind of care less. Yeah, it's not going to help us win a chip. I'm with you there. It's not going to help us win a chip. That's not going to do it. But again, Luka, I want the Celtics' first starting lineup with Vooch to just be Neemias Queta, Sammy Hauser, JB, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard. Then Tatum comes back, Hauser comes off the bench. And then have Vooch come off the bench. Keep the offense off the bench. That's what you lost in Simons. With Simons leaving, you lose some offense. Now you give Vucci Main, let him be the offense. That's what I would do. But because of pride and ego, I don't know. Maybe they don't do it. Although Mazzulla, I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think. Do you guys think Vooch is starting or coming off the bench? Yeah, Pacers are going to be favored to win the East next year, depending on what happens with this draft. Yeah, they're going to be favored to come out of the East because Cleveland is an emotional wreck right now. Cleveland is a nightmare. Oh, we need James Harden. Said no serious playoff team ever, and that's what they want to do. That's their answer. I've heard lots of smart people start saying they like it, and so maybe I'm the idiot here, but I refuse in the year 2026 of our Lord to believe that James Harden is any sort of playoff answer. That would be, if that would to be ranked to be true, that would be the exception and not the rule. Right? You know? I don't get it. Yeah, you would love him. The box score bros love it. The box score bros and strippers love to see James Harden coming. DJP says you think Mazzulla will test it, but at the end you'll see Vooch on the bench. Yeah, could be. You got no problem with Queta starting but playing 12. No, I think it's going to be more of a split. Vooch is a sieve defensively, so unless they're able to turn Vooch into like what they did with Simons, sure. I hope Nemi keeps his starting spot. He's been good. I like Garza and Amari. Yeah, I mean, I like them. I think Amari's like a fun wrinkle to throw out there to see what we get out of our second round pick, excuse me. I think Luka in a playoff series is cooked. I don't think he could do it. Ivy over Simons. I think no. I think I would take Simons over Ivy right now, but the cost of Simons is going to be a little bit more. I think I'm curious to see what Simons gets on the market next year. If you don't expect to win a championship, making moves that don't put you in a position to win or be favorites, then it's counterproductive. If you're talking about Vooch, this is more financial than anything else. They weren't going to sign Simons long term, clearly, because he's going to require some more money. It was an expiring contract. Vooch lowers the salary a little bit. I think it's going to be good long term. I don't expect them to keep Vooch around for a very long time either. So that was more of a financial situation. But the Celtics didn't have a chance to win the ship before or after. If you're talking about Harden, then yeah. I mean, like, you could make the argument, and I know I'm probably repeating myself at this time, but you could make the argument that with Garland, they can't win the championship. And that's fine. Then go get somebody that can help you win the championship, because it ain't James Harden. It ain't. Trey plus Luka equals 1 draft pick. Bane plus Triple J equals 7 draft picks. Them's the rules. Vucci was good in Orlando. That was like a while ago. Yeah, Simons was fun to watch too. Let's see. More likely to get traded, Draymond or Harden. And yeah, Ian, the editor, was saying, do you think Harden gets traded today? So I'm back and forth on this. I do think. I thought last night when this stuff started leaking out, I thought it was the dumbest thing ever. And I was like, we're all getting fooled by somebody that wants to try to make $45 on X engagement if Elon is still paying. I don't know if he's still paying people. And then the reports came out, and it seems like everybody's on drugs except me. Or maybe it's me that's on drugs and everybody else is sober. I don't know. But it does seem like the James Harden thing is happening. I think it happens today. I think if it's going to happen, it happens today. I think the closer we get to the deadline, the least likely it is of happening, if that makes sense. I think if it's going to, like, the sides are too close, right? The longer they edge, the worse it's going to get. Like, whatever. We can stop that. What else do we have in the chat? We got, what's up with our center? Jeremy? Vucci Bane. We got Vooch. I don't see Draymond being moved. Yeah, you were asking if Draymond or Harden gets moved. I was pretty surprised by the Draymond thing, and Magikarp in the chat was letting us know that like financially it could make sense, because you don't have to. He's got a player option. You could just decline and then go do whatever he wanted, and then he's off the books. But I don't know what they're getting back for Draymond. Again, I don't know if anybody's like, we are one Draymond Green away. Although I do think Toronto low-key could be kind of fun. Draymond in Toronto, low-key, kind of fun. I don't know. I think that would be cool. But I don't see it happening. I don't see Draymond happening. Unless they're getting something back that's really beneficial. But I don't see the price tag of Draymond getting up there. Do you think the Triple J getting dealt was the holdup for the Celtics moving off Anthony? No. I don't think there was a world. Again, as we pointed out in the Jaren Jackson Jr. breaking emergency pod, right? He's going to be making, I think, $49 million next year. So that means you're paying $150, almost $160 million between Triple J, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown. And I just don't think there's a world where they can do it. You can piecemeal the big together at a cheaper rate and just make the rest of your team a little bit deeper. So I don't think so. I don't think that was a holdup. Good question, though. If not Cleveland for Harden, where? I don't know, but I love the idea. Listen, Minnesota does kind of make sense. I don't think it's going to happen. If you told me they were getting Minnesota, if Minnesota was getting Harden, that really does it, and they weren't giving up too much. Because again, I don't know what the trade value is for James Harden, but if you had Harden next to Ant alongside Jaden Randall and Rudy or whatever, that's really fun. I don't think that's likely. But that one makes sense. James Harden being like, "Hey, I'm interested in Atlanta." That's like, "Hey, I'm interested in being 6 feet tall." You know, like, we know, man, we know. I don't think that makes sense with Atlanta's timeline. I don't see that happening. Nice. Let's see what else we got. I'm talking about our game tonight. Who's going to be our center with no Jalen and Zach hurt? Well, Jalen Smith has yet to be ruled out yet, as last time I checked. Let me do a quick injury shoot up here. Yeah. So we still don't know. Jalen Smith is questionable. There's a chance Jalen Smith comes back. If Jalen Smith does not play tonight, we might see our guy, Patty Will play some small ball 5, which would be some disgusting shit. Draymond for Tobias, send Draymond home. I'm going to let the Detroit fans answer that, because for whatever reason, Tobias Harris seems to be like super important to that locker room. They seem to like really, really like him as a piece. So I don't see it being Tobias. I don't see it being Tobias shipped out. If Tobias was going to get moved, I think they were going to do the home run thing, where it was going to be like, let's get Lowry Markin in here. But the Nepo Ainges, Danny and Austin were like, no, we're going to be good now. Bobby Portis Q tag means he's getting traded by the deadline. That's how I read it. Yeah, Milwaukee added Bobby Portis as a questionable tag tonight, and I think that's because I think there's a chance Bobby Lobby is gone. So we'll have to stay tuned for that. Would love to see Draymond sink or swim without the protect. Yeah, dude. The podcast. I wonder how the podcast game would change. Who do you like most on the Pacers tonight? If Yusuf Nurkic is playing, I like Jarris Walker the most. If Yusuf Nurkic is not going to play, I know he's available, but I don't know if he's going to play. I'm going to wait till we see the starting lineup. If Yusuf Nurkic is not going to play, I like Jay Huff the best. Yeah, I think this will be good for Simons. I think as long as Anthony Simons doesn't get moved again, I think he's going to play a lot. If Harden leaves, the league is effed. OKC will run the next decade. Yeah. Wait, hold on. Do you think Clippers are? Oh, because they're going to be bad and they'll get another pick. Yeah. I read this comment, not Lil Kale, and I thought you were saying that the Clippers are the only team that can stand in front of the Oklahoma City Thunder this postseason. But you were talking about their pick. I get it. All right, what else do we have in the chat? What else do we chat? So if Harden goes to mini, that means Giannis is out of the question. Yeah, for sure. I think so. Yeah. Well, luckily it is Miles Turner, man, and anybody can shut down Miles Turner. I don't know if Kuz gets traded. I don't know. And Gabriel was saying, man, and your Barlow shout. Yeah, we called Dominic Barlow yesterday, baby, huh? How about that? Here we go. Look at, we get some poly market updates from our guy Stan Loves in the chat. Giannis odds, Wolves, 23%, Heat, 13, Warriors, 7. Stan, did they have a Stan Pat where he just stays in Milwaukee? Did they give you a number for that? Simmons was not LA for Harden? Simons was not LA for Harden? Ben Simmons was not LA for Harden. I think there's a joke in there that I'm missing, JJL, and I apologize. That's my bad. I know there's something good in there. You're cooking something good in there. Hey, I know we have a bunch of people probably tuning in for the first time. I'm going to plug two things quickly. If this is your first time here, do me a favor, like the stream. Subscribe to the channel, too. We do a show Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. called the NBA Bit. So go check that out. I feel like the mic popped when I just said that, so I apologize. And then if you into the fantasy streets, maybe some sports betting streets, stuff like that, we also have a Substack that I pump out daily. Pump it. That I throw out there. So just drop the link in there. I dropped the link in there. Mike, shout out Mike. Any sense he comes to Chicago? We're talking about Giannis, right? I don't know. It seemed like it's hard to know sometimes. We can wave Mike Conley's old ass. It's hard to know sometimes with the Timberwolves, Jesus. With the betting market stuff, right? Where I didn't think Chicago was on the radar at all. There was no buzz around Chicago. And then the first thing I saw was that all of a sudden the betting odds shifted in Chicago's favor. And then there was a video of his kids in school in Chicago, or he bought property in Chicago or whatever. The bought property thing that people tell is always so funny. Chicago is a place people like to live. Good urban environment. Miami's a place people like to live, have a home in. He's rich. He can have multiple homes. Los Angeles, a place people buy homes in. Texas, same thing, right? So if he bought a home in St. Paul, Minnesota, then I would be like, holy shit, Giannis is going to the Timberwolves. Him having property in Chicago doesn't move the needle in the same way that it would in St. Paul. So I think it's less likely for Chicago. Again, Giannis, if you trust Giannis at his word, he said he wanted to compete for championships, that he understands where he's at in his career. And there we go. Per Chris B. Haynes, the Lakers have traded James for Antetokounmpo, Bronny, and for Thanasis. I love it. But that he said he wants to compete for championships, that he wants to compete for titles while he's still in his prime, and knowing that where his career is, all that stuff, right? If he picks Chicago, I don't buy that, man. Because you basically have to start over. A Giannis Giddey 2-man game's not winning you a chip. And unless he sees something at Bucelis that I don't know. So it's not to me, it's not Chicago. And that's why I don't think Atlanta's kind of interesting if you pair him up against with Jalen Johnson. Milwaukee can get some of their picks back. He stays in the Eastern Conference, which is softer than the Western Conference. We know Atlanta still has New Orleans first-round pick. That, to me, is intriguing. If he's going to go to the West, Minnesota's intriguing because you pair up with Anthony Edwards. But the reason I don't buy the Golden State stuff, and I know Weisberg was on here on Monday being like, well, he really likes the trainer in Golden State, which is probably true. And I know he's got some family ties out there. But you can't look at me in the eye and tell me you think Golden State, even with Giannis on that roster, is all of a sudden a title favorite. They're still clearly behind Oklahoma City, Denver, San Antonio, Houston. Like, I would take all of those teams over Steph Curry, who's close to my age, and Giannis's body, who is getting closer to my age, right? I don't know. To me, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And if it's going to happen after the deadline, I saw our guy Xavier in the chat says he needs to go to the Spurs. I think those teams like San Antonio, Houston, and Oklahoma City, if Oklahoma City somehow, stays healthy and gets bounced in the first or second round, which probably is not happening, I could see Sam Presti being like, hey, we got our chip. Let's go. Let's cash in all of the other poker chips we got and go get Giannis, pair him up with SGA. Like that to me, or like Houston, same thing. If they flame out, or if San Antonio is like, hey, this the 3-guard lineup's not working for us with Harper, Castle, and Fox. Yeah, that could happen in the offseason. That's not happening before the trade deadline. And that's why I think it's more likely that it happens later. All right. LaShawn Watson says, here we go. I'm going to give you a nugget that nobody else realizes. The Bulls are gearing up for an Anthony Davis trade. That's why they're getting so many guards and expirings and get rid of Vooch. Chicago and AD been connected. Yeah, that one to me, that makes way more sense to me than the Giannis stuff. I'll give you that, right? Because isn't he originally from that area? He's been rumored to them before, too. Yeah, I'll hear that. And that lines up more with the Chicago vision. It would be very Bulls-like to go get Anthony Davis instead of Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I don't think AD's I would like to believe that Giannis would see like, oh, you got AD, and that doesn't move the needle for Giannis, you know? Whoo! Man, we've been talking today. We're gonna, unless we get something else, we might wrap up here in a little bit because I got to dip in the next hour. Your boy's got to get out of here. So let's see. We haven't gotten any more news. Last thing we got was Keegan Murray for the Kings is going to miss 2 more weeks. I don't know. So yeah, I don't think so. I don't think Boston Base. I know you bet your mortgage on Giannis landing with the Chicago Bulls, but I don't know if we're seeing that today, bro. I don't know if we're seeing that today. I really do. I think most likely Minnesota. And then if not Minnesota, I feel like he stands pat. Boston is expected to remain active in trade talks per Brian Robb. Okay. I don't know what else Boston could do, though. I mean, outside of like Weisberg pointed out at the top of the show, trying to move off of Tillman or Boucher. I wonder if there's a contending team that's really interested in Sam Hauser. I could see them fielding some conversations around that. But I would imagine the core of that squad is staying the same, unless somebody saw those 2 weeks of Josh Minot and they were like, "We got to get us our Minot." But I don't think the Celtics are going to be buyers. I don't. All right, we're going to call it there because we're going to get out of here. Hey, we're back tomorrow, 9 a.m. For the NBA Bit. We'll also be flexible tomorrow, too. If we have breaking news, we'll go live. Just a reminder, too, Thursday at 11:10 Eastern, I'll be on the Athletic NBA shows. Their whole all-day trade show jumping on from 11:10 to 11:20 if you want to check that out. And then we will, NBA Bit, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Come hang out. Appreciate all the new peeps that were hanging. Good luck on those fantasy streets, the betting streets, all the streets tonight. All the streets. And, of course, I know the second I leave my apartment, Giannis is going to get moved. That's just how it works. Wendy thinks the Garland-Harden trade's going to happen. Yeah, me and Wendy aligned. I think it's a dumb trade, but I think it's going to happen. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.